Hi, I'm Marcin Dave. I'm the primary engineer for the Alloro application. Um, in this video, I'm going to be basically showing you the usage of our scopes, why we require them, and so that you can use it for your review on our app verification. So, Alloro is a healthcare practice analytics platform. It uses Google OAuth to kind of like provide unified marketing dashboards, kind of like the so that the practices are able to see their data in real time, how their practice performing in terms of their numbers. So I'm going to show you the OAuth consent flow and explain how each requested scope is used within our application. So to give you an idea, we're using the project ID signals 47711, a lower final project, and we can see the scopes that we require in the OAuth consent flow. So let's dive right into it. So the practice owner is gonna continue with Google, provided their Google account has access to their um, J4, GBP, and GSC um, like properties, because those are the properties that we primarily use for the kind of like the analysis and summary in their dashboard, and we'll see that later in this video. So to authenticate, what the owner will do is they will click continue with Google, and this will basically show a list of accounts that they have. I'm going to use this test account that we have right here. Of course, it's going to say that we haven't verified this app yet, and then go to get Alloro.com, and the first thing that we'll need is the info about their personal details. That includes the name, the profile picture, and the email, of course. So that's a given. The next three things, and these are the most important things that we need for the verification of scopes, is the first is the Google Analytics data. That's a GA4. That is what we use to track and get information how kind of like the users of their websites are behaving, so that we get an idea on how to improve on that part. The second one is the search console data. So we know the practices kind of like performance in terms of search. Are they visible, or things that are related to uh, search engine optimization and things like that. The third one is the Google Business Listing, or for the GBP profile. This is primarily used to get information how they perform compared to their competitors in their area. So we get like the address of the practice, the reviews, the star ratings, all that stuff, so we can have an idea in our summary, in our rankings and analytics, on how they perform compared to the competitors in their area. So all of these are read only. We never persist data into any of the APIs. Hence, we don't require really any further like scopes that gives ability to delete or update any existing data we have in Google. Everything is read only. We just use this data to kind of like give them an insight on how their practice is performing. So we click continue, and I'm going to show you in the dashboard how each of those are being used. So basically this account is already connected, but how they will connect that is going to the settings, right? And in the connect properties, we will see here like the three scopes that we requested. We all have these three already connected, right? So for Google Analytics 4, the read-only scope number 1 is of course for the read-only data that we get from Google, like the full data for that particular website or property. And also like we need to list like the properties that we have for this particular account. So this account, the test account we're using, has multiple J4 properties. The idea is that practice owner would only have one, So they will just select that one and then confirm selection. Same with Google Search Console. It will list all of the properties, and then the scenario, they would only have like one or two, and they will select the one that they will want to be analyzed by our system. And lastly, for the Google Business Profile, they're able to select multiple. This is slightly different because they are allowed to select like multiple locations for practices that have like multiple clinics and all that stuff, and they are able to select one or two or really multiple locations that we will include in the analysis, right? So that's the idea of how we're using that, or how we connect um, or select like the properties from a single account. So we need all of these three to perform our proprietary analysis. And to give you an idea on how it's shown in the dashboard, we will see that especially in the rankings, we will see like we have like the current rank against competitors, the patient satisfaction, um, and all of those stuff. Those are primarily for the GBP or Google Business Profile. We feed the data into our LM so that we can get like an analysis. Also here we're feeding this multiple streams of data. We're feeding J4, GBP, and GSC to get like the daily insight about how the website is performing. So, for example, website sessions declined by over 73% for this particular day, and all of those stuff. We can also see the wins and the risks. So we can see that GBP interaction remains strong. These are all insights from their GBP, GSC, J4 connections data. We also could give them recommendations based on um, their data and the summaries and all this stuff. Pretty much everything that is helpful for them to grow with the real actual data they have in their properties. And to close that, in terms of security, we make sure that OAuth tokens are only stored server side. Um, these are not, there will never be a client side token exposure because we know the risk of that. And all API calls are proxied through backend, right? So no calls to Google APIs are happening right directly in the front end. Everything is proxied through the back end, and we only have read-only data visualization. The idea is that we do not ever submit data into the Google APIs for update or insertion. We only fetch the existing available data for us to get insights and analysis, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for walking through this video, watching this video till the end. Thank you for watching the video for the verification. Hopefully this makes sense. If there's any question, I have provided my details and my the details of the owner of the application. And if you have any questions, clarifications, or maybe even suggestions in order to speed up the verification process, please let me know. That would be very helpful. Thanks so much.